Good morning, children. Children, I welcome you all to today's session of chemistry, and we are on to the chapter number 4, which is atomic structure. Right? In my previous session, we saw that what is the contribution of Indian philosophers like Kannad and Pakhuda Katyayama in the field of atom, and then we also saw about calling these particles by the name of atoms, and atoms which were being the smallest particle of element that take part in a chemical reaction. Then we also went on to see the Dalton's atomic theory. We saw all the matters are made up of very small particles called the nuclei, called atoms. Atoms cannot be divided. And then molecules, right? Uh, that molecules are formed by joining atoms, right? Atomicity also we saw that monoatomic are those which have only one atom, diatomic 2, triatomic 3, and polyatomic more than 3, right? And then we also saw the differences between molecules of elements and molecules of compounds. And now it's the time to move ahead. And the first thing which we will be studying is the radical. Now the radical is a single atom of an element or a group which behaves as a of a different elements which behaves as single unit and has a charge on its top, right? You need to learn, this is the definition of radical, you need to learn it. Now radicals are of two types, acid radical and basic radical. Now acid radical, they have negative charge, for example hydroxide and carbonate ion, and basic radical, they have positive charge, for example ammonium ion and hydrogen ion, right? They have positive charge. Now these are the two charts which you need to learn, because see, it's the reactions generally occur in a radical form, right? Reactions always take place in radical form, they never take place in atom form. So for you it's utmost important to learn these two charts, right? You should learn these two charts by heart. Now we come to valency. See, the definition is given here, which is apt for you. Just learn this much. Valency of an atom or radical is the capacity of an atom to form a molecule, right? Combining capacity of an atom or radical to form molecule is called valency. Valency is always a whole number, right? Now how is it? See, it's illustrated below that in case of radical, valency is indicated by the charge on it, right? Now see here children, in this chart the first is H plus, so no number is there, but there is a one single plus, that means 1. So the charge is plus 1 and it is monovalent, right? I am referring to this chart children here. Then ammonium NH4 plus, only one plus is there, so it's again monovalent and plus 1, right? And so on and so forth. Okay, now these valencies you need to learn by heart. Valencies of elements or radicals based on hydrogen atom. Now sometimes the valency of a radical is determined on the basis of number of hydrogen atoms which are attached to it, right? For example, you see it is said here that the valency of an element or radical can be predicted from the number of hydrogen atom attached in a chemical formula of the compound, right? For example, see children here, if I write it as HCl, this is hydrochloric acid, but how many H ions are there? Only one. So the valency of the Cl will be 1 because one H is attached. Similarly, if I take H2SO4 sulfuric acid, how many hydrogens are now there? 2. So the valency of sulfate ion valency will be 2, right? Now this chart tells the valency of radicals on the basis of hydrogen. See, in ammonia 3 hydrogens, the valency is 3, right? Now we come to the periodic table. We all know there are 118 elements are there in the periodic table. So please underline this, 118 elements. And it's very difficult to study. See, 118 elements, we need to study each and every physical property, chemical property, then every information about them. It's hell lot of tedious work, right? So what the scientists did was that they grouped them, and then on the basis of one or two elements of that group, they predicted the properties of others, which were found to be nearly correct. So the things became very easy for them, right? Now see what is written here. There are 118 elements known at present, and it is very difficult to study the properties of all of these elements separately. So all the elements have been divided into few groups in such a way that the element in the same group have similar properties. In this way, the study of large number of elements is reduced to the study of few groups of elements. This is the reason for periodic classification. Now, various attempts have been made to classify the elements from time to time. In the modern classification of elements, right, these elements are arranged in the tubular form, right? So, you need to learn from here. In the modern classification, you need to highlight from here increasing order of their atomic number in vertical columns and horizontal rows, indicating the regular trends in their periodic properties, right? That means columns are there and rows are there. This tabular form is called periodic table, right? This is called periodic table. The modern periodic table has 7 horizontal rows called periods and 18 vertical columns are called groups. Now see this here. Let me clarify this with the help of this. That's 7 horizontal rows. What is the meaning of? See here, see this chart here. This one. Now these are periods. These are periods, right? And this will be the group. This is group, right? This is period here, and this is group. From top to bottom, period is left to right, right? The elements present in the same group have same valency electrons, number of electrons present in the outermost shell. For example, each element of group 1, the valency is 1. In group 2, the valency is 2, and so on and so forth, right? In group 18 has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit except helium, which has 2 valence electron, and they are chemically inert, right? They don't participate in any reaction. Now valencies of first 20 elements of the periodic table are written here, which you can memorize. You can have a look and memorize on them. Now we come to another important aspect, that is writing molecular formula of a compound. And see what is written here. We will now describe the method of writing molecular formula of a compound and how it is done. It is done, first of all, we write down the name of compound whose formula is required. Then write down the symbols of its radicals. As a convention, the basic radical is written at the left hand and the acid radical is written at the right. Now basic radical is the one which has a positive charge, suppose. So let me take H, right? The basic radical is written on the left hand side, and acid radical is the one which has the negative charge, right? Let me take nitrate ion minus. Okay. Next step will be the number of acid and basic radical is adjusted in such a way that total number of positive valencies become equal to the total number of negative valencies, right? The number of basic radical required 2, 3, 4 is written on the right side of the bottom of the symbol of positive radical, but without showing charge on it. For example, if 2 aluminium radicals are required to balance the charge in a compound, then 2Al3 plus is written as Al2 in the formula. Now what is this? Let me tell you, right? Now suppose I am taking hydrogen here. Now I am taking hydrogen atom here, H plus, and I am taking sulfate, SO4 2 minus. Now see, if I have to balance it, see here there is only one charge here, 1 plus and 2 minus. If I have to balance the sulfate, I will be using 2 hydrogen, right? I will be adding 2 before H, right? And then this numbers written in front, then it will be written as H2SO4, right? Because now the charges are balanced. Okay. So please note that only one positive or negative radical is required to write the formula of a compound, then a digit. One is not written with a symbol called radical, right? One is never written. If one sodium radical Na is needed to write the formula of a compound, then we write just Na for it, right? The final formula of the compound is written without showing the charge on the radicals involved, right? These charges are not shown in the final formula. You will not be showing them, okay? Now, for example, you just go on and see what is happening here. The symbols of magnesium is Mg, the symbol of chloride is Cl, and you see here what is happening, right? MgCl, Mg the valency is 2 plus and Cl is 1 minus, so there is a cross, this 2 plus goes to Cl and we write MgCl2, right? And the same thing happens with Na, right? Now in the exercises you have to write the formula of HCl. Now same thing, H is plus, Cl is minus, 1 minus, right? So the formula will be HCl, right? Because only one is there, the charge is same, so no need to write it and just combine it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did in making it. So until we meet again, it's a goodbye.